I'll explain you the story. The story name is The Little Girl. Okay, एक छोटी लड़की. So, firstly, I will give a little introduction to you about the story. The title of the story refers to the main character, okay, that we will come across, the little girl named Kezia, okay. Like the theme of the story is the relationship between children and the parents, okay. And the writer Catherine Mansfield wants to tell us that children share a very important bond of love with their parents. Okay, so although when children are small, when they are young, they do not feel that their parents love them because their parents are strict and many actions of the parents seems unjustified. Okay, but as children grow up, they realize that all the acts done by their parents were beneficial for them. The parents were concerned for them, and beneath the strictness lies a heart full of love, okay, for the children. And this bond of love between parents and their children has been like highlighted through the story. Okay, so do you feel you know your parents better now than when you were much younger? Perhaps you now understand the reasons for some of their actions that used to upset you earlier. Okay, so, like when we are small, when we are very small, we do not know why our parents are being strict with us, right? But as we grow older, we become mature and we realize why they were being strict with us. And when we realize that thing, then we also realize that our parents love us, right? So, even we, okay, we are the reader here, so even we can also relate to this. Okay, we all can relate to this. Like you all can also feel that when you were younger, the action your parents did, the strictness that they had towards you was for your betterment, for your good. Okay, and as you will grow older and older, you will realize that in the past, whatever acts your parents did were for your betterment, and in fact, they really love you. Okay. So, the story about a little girl whose feelings for her father changed from fear to understanding will probably find an echo in every home. Okay, now what do we mean by will probably find an echo in every home? This means that all the children will feel the same way. So you all can relate to the feeling of little girl Kezia. Okay, just like Kezia is full of fear towards her father, and later on she understands his behavior and feels that he was concerned and he loved her. Okay, so all the children also have the same feeling towards their parents. Okay, and I also had that same feeling towards my parents. You also have that same feeling towards your parent. Okay, so we all can relate to Keja's story very well. Okay, so now let's start the story. To the little girl, he was a figure to be feared and avoided. Okay, a figure to be feared means a person to be feared. Okay, and who is the figure to be feared here? The figure to be feared here is Keja's father. Okay, so he refers to Keja's father, and the little girl is Kezia. Okay, so the opening line of the story is indicating the fear that Kezia has for her father. And as she is fearful of her father, she tries to avoid him and she tries to remain away from him. Okay, so now every morning before going to work, he came into her room and gave her a casual kiss, to which she responded with, "Goodbye, father." Okay, so every morning before going to work, Keja's father would visit her in her room and give her a casual kiss. Okay, and in reply, Kezia would say, "Goodbye, father." Okay, so this action of Keja's father shows his love for Kezia. Okay, and oh, there was a glad sense of relief when she heard the noise of the carriage growing fainter and fainter down the long road. Okay, so glad sense of relief means to feel relaxed. Okay, and fainter means to lessen or reduce. कम 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 और उसके बाद सुनाई ही ना देना. Okay, is fainter. So like carriages like horse carts were means of like transport, means of conveyance used in olden times, right? So here we can make out the fear that Kezia has for her father. Okay, the writer says that when Kezia heard that her father's carriage was going away from home and he was leaving home, and the sound became like fainter and fainter, lesser and lesser, that means the sound reduced. Okay, so Kezia would have a sense of relaxation. She would feel relieved, okay, that her father had left. Now, why did she feel relieved? She felt relieved because she feared her father. Okay, she was afraid of him, and so she was relieved when he left home. Okay. So now, in the evening, when he came home, she stood near the staircase and heard his loud voice in the hall. Okay, in the evenings, when Kejia's father would return home, she would hear his loud voice, and this loud voice again made her afraid of him. Okay, bring my tea into the drawing room. Hasn't the paper come yet? Mother, go and see if my paper's out there and bring me my slippers. Okay, so as Keja's father returned home, he would start ordering all different things. Okay, he would order that tea to be served to him in the drawing room, and he wanted the newspaper. Okay, and he would ask his mother to go and see if the newspaper was there outside the house. Okay, and he would ask her to get him a slipper also. Okay, Kezia, mother would call to her, if you are a good girl, you can come down and take her father's butt. Okay, so Kejia's mother would call out to her and ask her to remove her father's boot. Okay, in order to make her obey, she would say that if she was a good girl, then surely she would obey her command. Okay, like जैसे हमारे मम्मी पापा भी हमें कभी कभी बोलते थे, कभी कभी आपको भी बोलता होगा कि अगर तुम अच्छा बच्चे हो तो ये करो वो करो. Okay, the same Kezia mother used to do with her. Okay, slowly the girl would slip down the stairs, more slowly still across the hall, and push open the drawing room door. Okay, so slip down means come down quietly and unwillingly. Okay, like आपको आने का मन तो नहीं है पर भी आपको आना पड़ेगा. Okay, so that is slip down. So again we see Kejia's fear for her father. That is why she would come down the stairs quietly and unwillingly. Unwillingly because she did not want to face her father. Okay, because she feared him. Okay, by that time he had his spectacles on and looked at her over them in a way that was terrifying to the little girl. Okay, so now just imagine, okay, just imagine Kejia's father sitting in the drawing room on a sofa wearing his spectacles. Okay, spectacles means chashma. Okay, and he is looking at Kezia over the spectacles, and now the way he looked at her used to terrify her. Okay, and she was horrified because maybe it seemed to her that he was staring at her. Okay, so well, Kezia, hurry up and pull off these boots and take them outside. Have you been a good girl today? Okay, so Kezia was reluctant in her walk. She was slow in her motion. Okay, and so her father would tell her to hurry up and remove his boots and keep them out of the room. Okay, and then he would ask her if she had been a good girl that day. Okay, so now I don't know, father. Okay, and Kezia replied that she did not know. Okay, so why was she stammering? Because she was not confident. Okay, a person is not confident when he has any feeling of fear. जब आप किसी चीज से डर जाते हो, किसी से आप डरते हो तो you start stammering. Okay, stammering means like okay, that is stammering. Okay, before saying any word you stammer is you don't have confidence. Okay, so now you don't know. If you stutter like that, mother will have to take you to the doctor. Okay, so stutter means to stammer, to speak with pauses. Okay, ruk ke bolna is stammering. Okay, so here Kezia father is copying her, and he also stammers like she did, and he says to her that if she stuttered like that, then her mother would have to take her to the doctor for a checkup. Okay, so now she never stuttered with other people, had quite given it up, but only with father, because then she was trying so hard to say the words properly. Okay, so here given it up means stopped doing it. trying so hard. She was trying so hard means making a lot of efforts, both koshish karna. Okay, so here the writer tells us that Kezia never stammered while she spoke to other people. Okay, it was only when she talked to her father that she lacked confidence, and that is why she tried very hard to speak properly and she stammered. Okay, because she used to fear her father. उसको अपने पापा से इतना डर लगता था कि बोलने में भी उनका वो रुक रुक के बोलती थी. She used to stammer. Okay, so now what's the matter? What are you looking so wretched about? Mother, I wish you taught this child not to appear on the brink of suicide. Here, Kezia, carry my teacup back to the table carefully. Okay, wretched here means unhappy and sad. Okay, on the brink of suicide means about to commit suicide. Okay, and suicide means to kill oneself. To kill oneself. अपने आप को मारना is suicide. Okay. Now Kejia's father looks at her, okay, and he feels that something is wrong with her. And he asks her like why she's so unhappy. And then he tells the mother that she should teach Kezia to behave in a better way and she should not appear as if she is so unhappy that she is about to end her life. Okay, so he wants to say that Kezia seems to be so unhappy with her life that she did not want to live any longer. Okay, and he hands her his teacup and asks her to place it back on the table. Okay, so now he was so big, his hands and his neck, especially his mouth, when he yawned, thinking about him alone was like thinking about a giant. Okay, so now here yawn means high lena. ओके यॉन मतलब जब आपको नींद आती है तो जो आपको हाई आ जाती है दैट इज नोन एज यॉनिंग यॉन्ड ओके हियर दिस इज द फीलिंग दिस इज द विजन दैट केजिया हैज फॉर हर फादर ओके लिसन शी फील्स दैट हर फादर वाज सो बिग ही वाज जस्ट लाइक अ जायंट and the writer says that Kezia felt that his hand and his neck and his mouth were all so huge, especially when he yawned, and it seemed as if he was a huge monster. And whenever Kezia thought about her father, she felt that she was thinking about a giant. Okay. So now, on Sunday afternoons, grandmother sent her down to the drawing room to have a nice talk with father and mother. Okay, so every Sunday during the afternoon, Kejia's grandmother sent her downstairs to the drawing room, okay, in order to spend time with her parents. So Kezia was supposed to behave in a nice and decent way, okay, in front of her parents, and they had a formal get-together, okay. So now, but the little girl always found mother reading and father stretched out on the sofa, his handkerchief on his face, his feet on one of the best cushions, sleeping soundly and snoring. Okay, snoring means kharate lena. Okay, the sound produced by some people when they are asleep. Okay, so here we feel that Kezia felt a bit neglected. Every Sunday afternoon when she went to her parents to meet them in the drawing room means sitting room, okay, and have a nice talk with them, they were busy doing their own things. Her mother was busy reading and her father was busy sleeping and snoring. Okay, so Kezia had this image of her parents in her mind. Okay, they did not talk with her, they did not spend time with her, and on the other hand they were busy doing their own things. Okay, so she sat on a stool, gravely watched them until he woke and stretched and asked the time, then looked at her. Okay, gravely means seriously. Okay, like gravely means to give a serious look. Okay, ऐसे देखना ताकि थप्पड़ देने वाले हो. Okay, ऐसे देखना ताकि तुम उसको पनिश करने वाले हो. Okay, so all the while Kejia's father was asleep, she would just sit on a stool and watch him carefully, okay, till the time he would wake up and stretch his body and then would ask the time and look at her. Okay. Now, don't stare so, Kezia. You look like a little brown owl. Okay, now Kejia's father would compare Kezia to a little brown owl. Okay, he would say that Kezia was staring at him just like an owl does. Okay, one day when she was kept indoors with a cold, her grandmother told her that father's birthday was next week and suggested she should make him a pin cushion for a gift out of a beautiful piece of yellow silk. Okay, so now Kezia was not well. She had a cold so she was supposed to stay at home. So her grandmother suggested that as she was at home and her father's birthday was approaching, she could make a birthday gift for him. Okay, she asked Kezia to make a pin cushion for him. Okay, and she also gave her a yellow colored fabric of silk to make the cushion. Okay, laboriously with a double curtain, the little girl stitched three sides. Okay, laboriously here means with lot of effort or difficulty. Okay, now Kezia put in lot of effort to make the birthday gift. She used double cotton. Okay, that refers to a thread. Okay, double cotton is referred to a thread. Okay, and she stitched three sides of the cushion. Okay, but what to fill it with? That was the question. Now Kezia had prepared the back shape of the cushion. She had to stitch the fourth side, okay, and before that she had to fill the cushion with something, and she did not know what to fill the cushion with. Okay, so now the grandmother was out in the garden and she wandered into mother's bedroom to look for scraps. Okay, wandered into means went into by chance. Okay, scraps means small pieces of cloth or paper that are not needed. Okay, so Kezia was confused that what should she used to fill the cushion with. Okay, as her grandmother was out in the garden and she was just looking for something, she reached her mother's bedroom. Okay, she was looking for bits of paper or cloth to stuff into the cushion. Okay, so now on the bed table she discovered a great many sheets of fine paper, gathered them up, tore them into tiny pieces, and stuffed her case, then sewed up the fourth side. Okay, now Kezia is a small little girl. Okay, she is very young. Now what she do? On the bed table she found a heap of sheet of paper, so she just gathered all the sheets, then tore them and stuffed those pieces of paper into the cushion, and then she stitched the fourth side of the cushion, and she had prepared a birthday gift for her father. Okay, so many of you can relate to Kezia's act, right? Many children do such things unknowingly. They do not intend to create any mischief or harm anyone, but they end up doing it. Right now Kezia has done some important papers. Okay, so now that night there was a hue and cry in the house. Father's great speech for the Port Authority had been lost. Okay, hue and cry means angry protest. Okay, like jhagda type ka. Okay, now there was a lot of shouting in the house because Kezia's father had prepared a speech for the Port Authority. Okay, that is like for a particular meeting. Okay, and he was unable to find it. Now we all know where the speech has gone, right? So it had been thrown into tiny pieces and Kezia has stuffed it into the cushion. Okay, so now rooms were searched, servants were questioned. Okay, finally mother came into Kezia's room. Okay, so now the family searched everywhere. They asked the servants, but no one knew where the sheets of paper had gone. And finally, the mother reached the Kezia's room. Okay, Kezia, I suppose you didn't see some papers on a table in our room? So Kezia's mother asked her that, did she see some papers lying on a table in her mother's room? Okay, oh yes, she said, I tore them off for my surprise. Okay, now here we get to see that Kezia is an innocent girl. Okay, she did not intend to harm anyone. She was just preparing her birthday gift. And so very truly, she tells her mother that she found some pieces of paper and as she needed them to stuff into the cushion, so she torn them and prepared a surprise gift. Okay, that is a birthday gift that she had prepared for her father. Okay, unknowingly, Kezia had done a great disaster. Okay, so now what? Screamed mother. Come straight down to the dining room this instant. Okay, so now Kezia's mother is so furious, she's so angry when she comes to know that Kezia has done the speech that her father is looking for, and so she orders Kezia to come down into the dining room at that very moment. Okay, and she was dragged down to where father was pacing to and fro, hands behind his back. Okay, pacing to and fro means her father was walking frontwards and backwards. जो टेंशन में कभी कभी हम लोग करते आगे जाते फिर पीछे आते. Okay, pacing to and fro. Okay, now Kejia's father is full of tension as his important document has been lost. Kezia has turned it into pieces. Now Kezia will be scolded for the mischief that she has done. Okay, well, he said sharply. Mother explained. He stopped and stared at the child. Did you do that? No, she whispered. Okay. Mother, go up to her room and fetch down the damn thing. See that the child's put to bed this instant. Okay, the damned thing here means used to express anger at something. Okay, now why is Kejia's father referring to the cushion that she has prepared as a damn thing? Because he is angry at the cushion, because Kezia has turned his important document to prepare it. Okay, now he is very angry with Kezia and he stared at her and asked her if she had torn the papers. Okay, Kezia was so scared that she was again stammering. And then Kejia's father ordered mother to go and bring that cushion downstairs and asked her to put Kezia to bed at that very moment. Okay. Crying too much to explain, she lay in the shadowed room watching the evening light make a sad little pattern on the floor. Okay, shadowed room here means that as it was dark, there was a light outside the room which was making shadows in the room. Okay, a sad little pattern refers to the sad atmosphere in the room. Okay, because so much, so much things were going in that particular Kejia's home. Yes, so that had created a sad atmosphere. Okay, so Kezia wanted to justify her action as she was innocent. She didn't mean to harm her father. She was just preparing a surprise birthday gift for him. Okay, and Kezia was very sad. She had been happy that she had prepared a surprise for her father and he would like it, but on the other hand, she had accidentally committed a disaster. Okay, so then father came into the room with a ruler in his hands. Okay, now he's about to punish Kezia for the wrong act she has done. Okay, I am going to beat you for this, he said. Oh no, no, she screamed, hiding under the bedclothes. Okay, bedclothes refers to the sheets, the top sheets that you cover yourself when you're sleeping. Let's say blanket. Okay, now Kejia's father told her that he would beat her with the ruler. Kezia was so scared that she tried to hide under the sheets. Okay, he pulled them aside. Sit up, he ordered, and hold out your hands. You must be taught once and for all not to touch what does not belong to you. Okay, now here we come to know that why Kejia's father was being strict with her. Why was he punishing her? Because he wanted Kezia to know this thing once for all, that she should not touch that thing that does not belong to her. Okay, so he wanted to teach her this thing so that it benefited in her future life. Okay, right now she was a small child. She did not know what was important and what was not important, right? So that is why unknowingly she has torn the important document of her father. And so he was punishing her. Okay, he did not want to harm Kezia, but he wanted that Kezia should know that in future she should not touch anything that does not belong to her. Okay, but it was for your birthday. Okay, Kezia tried to explain her position. She said that she had been preparing a birthday gift for her father and had to stuff it with something. She just tore the pages to stuff them into the cushion. She was trying to explain to him that she was just preparing a birthday gift for him. Okay, she wanted to give him a surprise. She did not want to tear his important documents, but Kejia's father did not listen to her excuses. Okay, down came the ruler on her little pink palms. Kejia's father now hid the palms of her hand with a ruler. Okay, hours later, when grandmother had wrapped her in a shawl and rocked her in the rocking chair, the child clung to her soft body. Okay, clung means to attach yourself to something. अगर हम रो रहे तो अगर मम्मी आके हक करते हैं तो हम भी अच्छे से बैठ जाते हैं. Like clinging. Okay, like clung means to attach yourself to something. Okay, now KG was so afraid. She had got beating. Her father had hit her small little palms with the ruler. Okay, and many hours later her grandmother wrapped her in a shawl and was trying to pacify her. Okay, she made her sit in her lap on a rocking chair and she was trying to put Kezia to sleep, and Kezia clung to her grandmother. Okay, what did God make fathers first? She sobbed. So Kezia was still not comfortable. She was crying and she said that God should not have made fathers. She hated her father. Okay? She was so innocent. She did not know what wrong she had done. Okay? She was just preparing a gift for him. Right? She was heartbroken as he did not understand her and said that God should not have made fathers. Okay? So now here's the clean hanky, darling. Blow your nose. Go to sleep. Pet, you'll forget all about it in the morning. I tried to explain to father, but he was too upset to listen tonight. Okay, now Keja's grandmother was trying to pacify her. Okay, उसको सांत्वना दे रहा था. Okay, she gave her a handkerchief to blow her nose in it and go to sleep. She added that by morning Kezia would forget the beating. Kezia tried to justify herself. Okay, like Kezia अपने रीजन बताना चाह रही थी. Okay, she said that she was trying to explain to him the reason for tearing the sheets of paper, but he was not ready to listen to her. So again we see that the little child was so innocent. She did not realize that her father hit her to teach her a lesson. Okay, so that she did not touch anything that did not belong to her. Okay, but the child never forgot. Next time she saw him, she quickly put both hands behind her back and a red color flew into her cheeks. Okay, so now Keja's grandmother had told her to go to sleep and that by morning she would forget the beating that her father gave her, right? But Keja never forgot the beating that she got. Whenever she saw her father approaching, she would keep her hands behind her back because she felt that maybe he would hit her again. Okay, and red color flew into her cheeks. वो लाल हो जाती थी. Okay, whenever she saw her father, she got scared and her cheeks got full of red color. She used to get nervous when she used to see her father. Okay. The McDonalds lived next door. They had 5 children. Looking through a gap in the fence, the little girl saw them playing tag in the evening. The father with the baby Mao on his shoulders, 2 little girls hanging onto his coat pockets ran round and round the flower beds, shaking with laughter. Okay, once she saw the boys turn the hose on him and he tried to catch them laughing all the time. Okay, so here the writer tells us about Keja's neighbors. Okay, her neighbors were a family named McDonald's. Okay, in all the McDonald's had 5 children and Kezia would peep at them through a hole in the fence. Okay, she would see that the family had a lot of fun. They played a game called tag. Okay, like tag is a children's game of catching one another, like we play catch. Okay, so all the children along with their father would have a lot of fun. And Mr. McDonald would make his little baby mouse sit on his shoulders, and the 2 little daughters that he had, they would hang onto his coat pockets. Okay, so all the children were so much attached to their father. They loved him so much that they would stick to him. Okay, and then they would run around the garden, around the flower beds. Okay, and they would laugh and laugh and laugh. Okay, and Kezia also wanted to have such fun with her father, and she missed it. Okay. One day she saw that the little sons of Mrs. McDonald opened the hose on him. They opened the water pipe, okay, and tried to make him wet. Okay, but Mr. McDonald was not angry with them. He tried to catch them and he was laughing. Okay, this was very strange for Kezia because her father was just the opposite of Mr. McDonald. Okay. So now then it was she decided that were different sorts of fathers. Okay. Now when Kezia saw Mr. McDonald, like she realized that he was quite opposite to her father. She felt that God had made various kinds of fathers. Okay. And suddenly one day mother became ill and she and grandmother went to hospital. Okay. So one day Kezia's mother fell ill, so she was taken to the hospital and the grandmother also went along with her. Okay, so now the little girl was left alone in the house with Alice, the cook. That was all right in the daytime, but while Alice was putting her to bed, she grew suddenly afraid. Okay, now Kezia was all alone at home with the cook. The name of the cook is Alice. Okay, now Kezia was fine during the day, but at night, when the cook put Kezia to bed all alone, Kezia started feeling scared. Okay, what will I do if I have a nightmare? She asked. Okay, nightmare means a bad dream. Okay, Kezia asked Alice that if she had a bad dream, what would she do all alone? Okay, so now I often have nightmares and then Granny takes me into her bed. I can't stay in the dark, it all gets whispery. Okay, so Keja explained to Alice that whenever she had nightmares, she would go to her grandmother and she would sleep with her. Okay, so she said that she could not stay all alone in the dark because she would be scared. Okay, she could hear different kinds of whispering sounds which made her feel that there was someone around her. Okay. You just go to sleep, child, said Alice, putting off her socks, and don't you scream and wake your poor pa. Okay, so Kejia's father was sleeping in the next room, and Alice told Kezia to sleep quietly. She removed Kejia's socks and asked her not to scream. Okay, she wanted her not to scream and wake her father, but Kezia was helpless. Okay, but the same old nightmare came, the butcher with the knife and the rope, okay, who came nearer and nearer, smiling that dreadful smile. Okay, while she could not move, could only stand still, crying out, Grandma, Grandma. She walked shivering to see father beside her bed, a candle in his hand. Okay, a butcher is a person who cuts animal, who cuts meat. Okay, so now this is a nightmare that Kezia had often. She would see a butcher. So this butcher would hold a big knife, okay, a huge butcher's knife and a rope, and he would approach Kezia. Okay, he had a dreadful smile on his face, and once Kezia would see him, she would feel that she was unable to move. She was so much scared of him, okay? She was terrified to see this butcher, and in her sleep, Kezia cried out for help. She called for her grandmother, and when Kezia woke up, she was shivering. Okay, she was trembling, and she saw that her father was standing next to her bed, and he was holding a candle in his hand. Okay, so Kejia's father had heard her screams and he had heard that Kejia was calling for her grandmother and he had come to help her. Okay, so now what's the matter? He said. Now he asked Kezia what was the matter, why she was screaming. Okay, oh, a butcher, a knife, I want Granny. Okay, Kezia was still scared of the nightmare. She said that there was a butcher, he was holding a dreadful knife, and she wanted her grandmother. Okay. So now he blew out the candle, bent down, and caught up the child in his arms, carrying her along the passage to the big bedroom. So here we can see the affection that Kejia's father has for her. He blew the candle off, he lifted her and carried her to his bedroom. Okay, a newspaper was on the bed. He put away the paper, then carefully tucked up the child. Tucked up means covered up nicely in bed. Okay, so Kejia's father lay her in his bed next to him and covered her with the blanket. Okay, so he lay down beside her, half asleep still with the butcher's smile all about her, it seemed, and she crept close to him, snuggled her head under his arm, held tightly to his shirt. Okay, snuggled means to move into a warm, comfortable position close to another person. Okay, now Kezia felt her father's affection and so she went close to him. She snuggled herself towards her father and she held his shirt tightly so that she would not feel scared again. Okay, and now Kezia had overcome her fear of her father. Okay, then the dark did not matter. She lay still. Now once Kezia was with her father, she was no longer afraid. Okay, here, rub your feet against my legs and get them warm, said father. Okay, he asked Kezia to rub her feet against his legs so that they became warm. Okay, so now, tired out, he slept before the little girl. A funny feeling came over her. So as Kejia's father was very tired, okay, he slept before she did. A funny feeling came over her. Okay, poor father, not so big after all, and with no one to look after him, he was harder than grandmother. But it was a nice hardness, and every day he had to work and was too tired to be a Mr. MacDonald. She had torn up all his beautiful writing. She stood suddenly and shied. Okay, now here Kezia realizes her mistake and she had affection towards her father. Okay, she felt that her father was a poor man. He worked so hard. Okay, he was not so big as she found him to be earlier. Now she felt that her father was a poor man who worked very hard, and so he got so tired that he went off to sleep and did not play with her like Mr. MacDonald did with his children. Okay. But Kezia felt that her father's heart was also full of love for her. Okay, she realizes that she has turned up his important document, the speech that he has written, and all this realization makes sure take a deep breath. Okay, she realizes that she had been wrong, and that is why her father had beaten her. Okay, and he had been so strict with her. Okay, what's the matter? Asked her father. Another dream? Although Kezia's father was asleep, he heard a sigh. He heard the sound that Kezia made, and he asked her what the matter was. Was she again watching a bad dream? Oh, said the little girl, my head's on your heart. I can hear it going. What a big heart you've got, father dear. Okay, so now Kezia replied to her father that she had placed her head on her father's heart and she could hear his heartbeat. And she complimented her father that he had a big heart. Okay, so Kezia is showing her love for her father as she had realized that her father also loved her. Okay.